All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this video is going to be entitled, Are Liberal Women Ungrateful? And of course, the answer to that is yes. But let me say this. Not only are liberal women ungrateful, but for the most part, people in general are ungrateful. And that's the reason why I want to make this video. To try to exhort brothers to grasp and understand that the level of gratefulness and respect that you receive from another person has a direct correlation with what you demand. You have to demand gratefulness by setting standards in the level of the interactions, the rapport, the dynamics of the relationship that you have with that other person. How do you do that? Number one, by setting terms and conditions. Number two, by charging people for your services. It's very important. In the so-called black community, we do not respect the components of terms and conditions and charging other people for our services. So many times in life, many of you brothers out there are gifted, and you're made to believe that you owe so-called black people your services for free because you're black and they're black. And what that leads to is a further degradation of the commercial aspect of our community that is the most important aspect, right after the spiritual. Number one is the spiritual. Number two is the commercial. Because everything flows from there. You cannot have a community without an understanding of commerce. Meaning if there's a brother who has a great skill in something, I pay him for what he does so that he can empower himself. And conversely, when he demands a service from me, he pays me so that I can provide him with that service. That's what's called a strong community. The so-called black community is so fractured. We don't believe in engaging in commerce with one another. We prefer to engage in commerce with the other nations. But just getting back to the point of this video, we're going to see this female, Ebony Johnson, is extremely ungrateful. And once again, they're going to try to throw around this concept or this notion of her being 14 years younger than the man that she was with, which really makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't matter, because as long as they're both of legal age, all that matters is that they were drawn to one another and that they respect one another within the framework of what they demand from each other. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
If Ebony Johnson dated the defendant, despite the fact that he's 14 years older than her, and she often cooked and cleaned for him.
No disrespect to this sister right here, but she should just be happy to have a man. I don't give a shit how much younger she is than the man that she's with. She's not someone who is going to walk past you in the street and you turn back around and say, God damn, who is that? I mean, it looks like she's packing luggage under her chin. So, I mean, let's pump the brakes and calm down when we talk about the age disparity. The vast majority of these modern liberal females are not catches. As a matter of fact, none of them are a catch. There are no liberal women who are catches. So be happy with the man or the men who decide to deal with you, because the value of the woman has depreciated greatly in this society. They're really not relevant. And men are not going to get their power back until they fully realize how obsolete women have made themselves. The modern liberal black female tries to get on board with the racialist bullshit, like the Black Lives Matter and George Floyd was murdered, all that nonsense, so that she can make herself relevant. When the so-called black man fully wakes up is when he's going to look at the liberal black female and say, don't come at me with the George Floyd bullshit. You're not pro-black. The liberal black female is involved with the greatest mass murder of black life of anyone. So I don't want to hear about your George Floyd bullshit. You're just trying to keep yourself relevant. When the so-called black man wakes up to that degree, that is when he will start to take his power back. As of right now, the liberal black female can masquerade as having beliefs that she doesn't really have. They do not value black life. If they did, they would not be the forerunners of abortion on the planet Earth.
However, she's suing him today for 2 unpaid loans. Defendant Ken Carpenter says while dating Ebony, he wined and dined her.
Well, that makes him a damn fool for doing that for that broad. I mean, at best, she's a 5 out of 10. And they don't look to have a 14-year age difference to me.
And took her shopping all the time. Ken insists the money from Ebony was a gift, and he's countersuing for lost wages.
Start with you, ma'am.
Well, my name is Ebony Johnson. I met Mr. Carpenter at a donut shop in Palm.
No shit. That's part of the damn problem. You met him at a donut shop. You look like you're hiding a donut up under your damn jawline.
California. He ended up taking me and my daughter to school because we had missed the bus. And from there...
As usual, the liberal black woman running late. Her and her daughter missed the bus.
We just hit it off. We started dating. everything was going great. You know,
Everything always goes great at first. I get so tired of hearing people talking about how everything went great at first. Of course it went great at first. You were in acting mode. You were in infatuation mode. You brothers have to figure this out, because the woman is never going to figure it out. They're actresses by nature. So the first month and a half, 2 months, everything's always going to go great for them and with them, because they're infatuated. They're acting. It's once the infatuation wears off that you get the true tenor of the relationship. The so-called black man has to figure that out. The woman suffers through disassociation to such a great degree that she's unable to understand why her relationships all go down the same pathway. So we're the ones who have to change it and recalibrate it, not them.
I thought he was mature than me because he was 14 years older.
Another chick looking for an older man to guide her. Why is that? Because deep down the woman knows that she's a child with breasts. She knows that she's a child with breasts. They make all these mistakes when they're younger, trying to get with young dudes who were raised by women. They get disenchanted and they say, you know what, I'm going to deal with an older man. The older man either doesn't put up with their bullshit or makes demands of them that they're unaccustomed to, and they get embittered. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, I thought you would be different. I.e., I thought that you would be my Prince Charming, the daddy I never had, who'd pay all my bills and basically still put up with my bullshit. No, it doesn't work like that.
And turns out, I guess he wasn't. You know, I would go to his house to cook or clean, and, you know,
I guess she wants a cookie for that. She'd go to his house to cook and clean. Yeah, in the first 2 months, that's what these broads do. They have to act like they're a domestic. Oh, look at what I can do. I can cook and clean. I'm going to come to your place and dust up. You're also going to come to his place, and dusting up will give you an excuse to snoop around the house and check his closet and check his drawers and see if there are other panties in those drawers or use condoms in the garbage can, things of that nature.
Then on, he just started getting very demanding.
He started getting very demanding. I wonder what that means. Could it mean that he actually maybe wanted you to do something outside of your acting repertoire?
No.
What's that beep? What's the beep I keep hearing?
I guess it's my alarm. I don't want to take it off.
Bullshit. It's probably her damn microwave. She got some ham hocks in the microwave that she's reheating for when the segment is over.
Smoke alarm?
I guess so.
You guess? You better go look see if you got a fire. Why you kidding? You got a fire. You say your smoke alarm going off.
It's fine. I guess it's the battery.
How's it go? The battery. Low battery to the smoke alarm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's different than I was wondering. I was like, does she really want this money?
She need her phone bill paid. She don't care if the house burned down.
To the burning house.
Yeah, smoke coming out.
Yeah, smoke coming all out the ceiling. I saw some red stuff in the back shooting up. I want my money, Jack. I need this 500. Yeah, you will after this. All right, now we got that out the way. I understand now. No problem. I just didn't know what it was. I understand now. All right, so you all began dating. But one of the questions, because I'm sure liberated women and I...
Liberated women is an oxymoron. That's like saying tall midgets. None of these women are liberated. All the term liberated is code word for is delusional.
If you're liberated as well, you can cook and clean and still be liberated as a woman. But you went over there.
Even she's laughing at that shit. She's like, liberated? That's the problem. I'm trying to find a man to take care of my big ass.
His house and cooked and cleaned for him. Why didn't he cook for you and you can help him clean? How about that?
Well, shit, he's already doing her the favor of dating her. The least she could do is cook.
Time. Did he ever cook for you when you came over?
Most of the top chefs in the world are men. For the most part, men who really can cook well cook better than women who can cook well. Every once in a while, you'll find a woman who really can get down in a superlative way. But for the most part, men who can really cook are better chefs or cooks, whatever term you want to use, than women.
Yes, he would.
There you go. What can he cook? Say, I bet he only has one meal he can cook. Huh?
He barbecued from time to time.
And that's the one thing he can do, right? All right. Well, some men can fix breakfast. I'm not cutting into you because that's the only thing I can do.
The concept of the barbecue comes from ancient Israel. For those of you brothers who read the scriptures, it tells you about the meat that would be roasted over open fire or over an open pit.
Cook on the grill. I can cook some breakfast. And what's the other thing? Put steak with onions on top and in the pan.
Well, that's the man's dinner right there. Every man knows how to pan sear some steak. At least you better.
Steak with onions on top. You get that sauce.
You better stop fucking around and put the rosemary with the thyme in there. And some garlic cloves in there as well. Stop fucking around, Judge Mathis.
I'm trying to give him schooling so he can cook for you. That's what I used to do for my wife Linda when we were in college and I wanted to play big.
Yeah, back in the day when I was trying to get some ass.
I'd have her over, cook a steak, put the onions on it, get the little baked potato.
Get a glass of wine, hope that she get, a little toasty. Next thing you know, I'm banging my gavel.
Easy, put that in the microwave for 5 minutes, you good. Get some spinach, frozen spinach or frozen broccoli, put that in. That's easy to look at on the direction. Get some cheap champagne.
I told you he was heading toward that champagne or that wine. He's just trying to get some ass.
It costs $6.90.
Some Ripple.
Nice, sweet lady Linda was. She went and drank that rock gutter champagne. Rot your gut out. All right, so she's a good woman.
You don't talk about my wife. Shit. I see y'all there snickering. My wife is not a hoe.
Up with that. Let me hear from you, sir. Tell me about the relationship.
Well, I met Ebony at the donut shop one morning on the way.
Look at this brother's face. He's like, I don't even know why the fuck I'm here for. I gave this little young out-of-shape bitch a chance. She didn't know how to act. Now she got me here in this fucking court case just so that she could see my face again because she missed the pipe I was giving her. Why is this bitch bothering me for? I already blocked on my phone. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me wind this back a little bit.
Well, I met Ebony at the donut shop one morning on the way taking my son to school. Found out her and my son was in the same class, so I decided to give them a ride to the school. We had mutual friends who suggested that we hook up, so I guess...
Big mistake. Do not allow other people to become involved in your personal life. Make your own decisions about the person that you decide to quote-unquote date. For the most part, the quote-unquote dating situation is only going to end up being a waste of money anyway. Make sure that you do it for the right reason and do not allow too many people into your personal life because the same people who set you up are going to be the people talking about you if that shit doesn't work. Asking you questions like, what happened between you and Ebony? How come y'all are not together? And now you end up going back and forth between someone who you're no longer dealing with and other people who are trying to get into your fucking business.
Give it a try.
Not meet, hook up.
Yeah. You didn't say meet. You said hook up. For what my kids used to say hook up meant is sex only. But I don't believe you all too mature for that, or you are.
Please. That man was hitting it probably on the first night, just looking at her.
Yes.
Most of these bras are horny toads.
And take advantage of this young girl. Go ahead.
Young girl? Please. She's already got a kid. By the looks of it, she got another one on the way.
Sir, I'm sorry. You were introduced by a mutual friend, and what happened from there?
We went out to Sizzler. Next thing you know, we get back in the car, ask her if she know how to drive stick. She drove the hell out of it, Yana.
I started doing things for Ebony because I seen that she was a little childish and
What's new? The woman is a child with breasts. Do not expect the woman to conduct herself in a mature or adult manner. If she does, great, but do not expect that to last for very long, because for the most part, it is an act. The real test of the relationship in the mind of the woman, the real litmus test, is how you respond to her first tantrum. After a certain period of time, the woman might try to flip out for any little thing just to see how you respond.
She needed some help, and I figured I could help her and the child out, by trying to be a man, basically, and so I just took it upon myself to go buy her things, take her shopping, to help her situation out, basically.
All right, let me hear from you, ma'am, on the loans you made to him. I'm sorry, did I miss something, sir? Hold on. You wanted to tell me something else?
Yeah, I guess, I did.
Go ahead.
I was trying to get to the point of how unappreciative she was of all the things that I was doing for her. And
brothers, please grasp that for the most part, in general, the woman is going to be unappreciative and ungrateful. That's just the nature of the woman. As I've already stated, the vast majority of people, period, in this society are ungrateful because of the deculturalization of this society and the paradigm shift from a belief in a deity in the Most High of the Bible over to the worship of oneself. The Aleister Crowley credo and ideology of do what thou wilt. That is the philosophy that is propagated on the mainstream liberal news. That is what is taught in the school system, to worship yourself and do whatever you feel like doing. So that is going to lead to a great deal of ungratefulness. Feminism foments ungratefulness because they're going to hesitate to give a man credit for anything. They're always going to claim that they could have done it themselves. So please grasp that whatever you decide to donate to the woman, for the most part, she's not going to be very thankful for in the long run, especially once the quote-unquote relationship starts to head downhill if you don't tolerate her bullshit.
And she's saying that she came and cooked for me. I'm a world-renowned chef. I'm from Chicago. That's all we do is cook.
Go ahead, brother. Let them know.
You understand what I'm saying?
How often did you cook for her?
All the time. She cooked the fish for me once. And you sick.
That bitch cooked one time, Your Honor. Some Jiffy Pop popcorn that she made while we was Netflix and chilling. I don't count that shit.
I cook for her all the time.
Now, the defendant states that he cooked for her all the time. I'm prone to believe him. Just looking at her, compared to him, it's very clear that he's more in tune with his body and remaining in relatively good shape and condition than she is. A lot of dudes now are cooking for women as opposed to the other way around, because dudes are trying to figure out a way to maintain their relationship. So they're trying to cater to the woman. It's up to you what you decide to do. But once again, never marvel or be confused or quizzical as to why things turn left. That's why I always implore brothers to keep the Most High first. That's what's going to keep you stable. Remember, you were not her first, so there's a very high probability that you're not going to be her last.
Okay. All right, ma'am. He says he cooked for you all the time.
Yes.
You gave the impression that you were the primary cook when you saw him, and he said that's not true. So I'm going to leave it alone. We're going to move on. We're not going to sit here and debate who cooks the most. What type of things were you doing for her?
You could look at her face, the expressions that she's making, how much she's giggling and cocking her head to the side, and it confirms what the defendant states about her lack of maturity. She clearly is still a little girl trying to masquerade.
I would take her daughter shopping, buy her shoes. I would take them out places. For about 2 months straight, I took her on a daily basis looking for a car in L.A., which is about an hour and a half from me, somewhere like from Chicago to Milwaukee or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And it don't even appreciate it.
And she did.
It all went unappreciated. So-called black men, you have to start looking for women in other places. Stop trying to turn the females of the Western society or Western civilization, the so-called liberated woman or empowered woman, into a wife material woman. If you want to deal with them, that's your choice, but please grasp that they are concubines. Stop looking for them to be something that concubines never are. That being thankful, grateful, or appreciative. That is not in their nature. If you're looking for females who are going to be something like that, You're going to have to search different fields. This field that you're trying to uproot a certain type of plant from, that plant is not going to be fruitful for you. They're all raised in the same culture. They're all raised in the same environment. So the fruit is going to taste the same or relatively the same. Are there going to be exceptions to that rule? Sure. But for the most part, there's going to be bitter fruit here in this field called America.
Appreciate it. How did she, why do you say that? Because of the day's lawsuit?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the only thing? Okay, that's the only thing?
Well, that's, I mean,
all right.
I don't see anything else besides her wanting to be with me.
Okay. And he says you're unappreciative for suing for this, for the loan. So let's talk about that. Did you make a loan to him?
Now, brothers, in situations like this, you should always give the woman back her money. Don't argue with her. Certainly do not allow it to become a litigation or a court procedure. Give her money. Because what that's going to ensure is that the Most High is going to start rolling her karma into motion. And her karma is going to be way worse than anything that you could do in trying to scrap or argue about a couple of $100. If she truly is entitled, that means that she's going to look for an enabler. And many enablers come in the form of abusive men. So let her receive her judgment in the form of her next man, which normally is where it comes.
And when, and what was the agreement on repayment?
The first, I gave him $400 because he wanted to get some new tires for his
When was
truck.
that?
Like in the beginning of May.
Okay, when did he say he would repay it?
The following month on the 3rd.
Okay, June 30 was to repay?
Yes.
All right. And
it's already bad enough that he was allowing a woman to give him money for new tires. If he has all the money and he's providing all of the donations that he claims that he was providing, he never should have allowed himself to be in the position to have to borrow money from a woman. That's the last thing that you want to do, is have to borrow money from a woman. Just hold off until you have your own money.
what happened come June 3rd?
We started arguing towards like the end of May, and at that point we both was just like, it's done, it's over, like, you know, don't call me no more, don't text me no more, and we sort of broke up.
All
So
right.
after that, I just asked him when he gonna pay me back to be done with it, and he just stopped responding. He blocked me from my call.
Yeah, because you were being negative, but that's still wrong on his part because he owes you the money. If you really want closure in any so-called relationship, give the woman back what she's owed, so once again she can receive her judgment if she truly is the one in the wrong.
Texas, I will call him on other people's phone. He'll block that one as well.
Okay. And what about the other $100?
He wanted to buy something, and I can't remember what it was, but I know I gave him an extra 100 that made it 5.
Okay. When was that?
Probably like a week later.
A week after you gave him the 400?
Yeah.
Okay. Or loaned him the 400, so you say. And he was to pay that back on June 3rd as well?
Yes.
All right.
Hey, you look at the brother's face, man, shaking his head. He's like, I can't believe this shit. This bitch got me here on Judge Mathis after all the stuff I done bought her. All type of pork chops and lamb loins and oxtails, eggs, milk, bread for her big ass second and third chin. And now look at me, I'm here with a light shining off the top of my head looking like Lou Gossett Jr. Oh my God. Never again.
And he blocked you, so you haven't had any discussions with him about it?
No, I ain't talked. This is the first time I'm actually seeing him.
Yeah, that's why you're happy. You heard what she said? This is my first time actually seeing him, and she's all smiling and giggling. He can get that back tomorrow if he wants. The reason why they broke up is because he got tired of her immaturity and her stupid shit. You don't understand what type of woman you're dealing with until she's out of the infatuation phase, and especially until you live with that person. She's a big kid.
Sir, what do you want to tell me about the loan she's alleging?
Well, I didn't look at it as a loan. I looked at it as a repayment. Basically, I took her for.
Come on, bro. You can't just look at a money donation however you want. and say, well, this is a repayment back for all the stuff I bought for you. If the woman is bitter and vindictive, let her be that way. That's their nature for the most part anyway. Give her money back, take the high road, and let the Most High bring her judgment.
About 2 months straight, back and forth to LA. It's gas money, hotel fare, restaurants here and there. Buying her daughter. Excuse me, I'm talking. I didn't.
My man said, "Excuse me, you big bitch. I'm talking. Shut the fuck up."
Look at it as a loan, sir. Not at all.
Did you ever agree to repay it?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean,
You don't think so?
Like, hey,
all right, and you're certain, right?
Yes, I'm very sure.
All right, well, I'm going to go with the one that's most sure. Your claim is granted, yours is dismissed. Have a good day.
Quit stalking me and stay away from me, please.
My man told quit stalking me and stay away from me, please. It's too late, bro. You got your big old thick stalker.
I don't want to deal with that anymore.
Dude, what? I didn't even do anything to you.
You did everything to me, and you're still doing things to me. This is.
You used me for all my money. I'm here broke now. Owe your big ass $500. You have me here on Judge Mathis embarrassing me. Who knows what the hell might happen tomorrow? I might lose my damn job at the gas station because of you. You know what? Fuck you.
About jealousy and anger.
Jealousy of what?
You're jealous. You're jealous. You're big. You got 3 chins, and you got a gap in your mouth so big it look like you're missing a tooth. That's what you're jealous about.
Come on,
like, why would you sit there? Why would you sit there and lie and say you drove me to LA so many times and you did it?
I'm not lying. I took you to LA every time you went.
You went to LA 3 times, and half the time it was for you.
No. I drove to LA for you because they got the best Planet Fitness in the state. Stop lying. But anyway, brothers, once again, you see how all that bickering and arguing goes on that's senseless? He should have unplugged the Zoom as soon as the damn judge banged his gavel. Instead, he said arguing with this bro, giving her what she wants, because it's very clear that she wants him back. But anyway, peace.